Over the weekend, I got a great opportunity to be able to show the world that I actually have legs under this desk and be one of the first people to actually get a chance to play the new Bandai Naruto TCG. Shout out to Bandai for inviting me to the creator specific session. So I think total, I got a chance to play this game with the creator session and just the regular session, 3 hours total to be able to kind of look at the mechanics of this game, look at the cards. And I think in this video, I want to cover how this game plays, talk about it from how these cards look. So I really want to hammer in people who want to play this game and people who also are just like, I like Naruto, I want to collect. So I want to make sure that I hit both fronts here. I will say my first impressions of this game is that it was pretty fun. I know people are going to be like, oh man, everybody's going through this honeymoon phase and stuff like that. But no, I think I actually just thoroughly enjoy this game. I think a lot of people's concern as it pertains to this Naruto TCG and kind of the stigma people have about Bandai trading card games is they didn't want this game to just feel like One Piece or Gundam. Well, Gundam is such a weird comparison because if you actually play Gundam, it's vastly different from One Piece. Anyway, they didn't want this game to feel like the One Piece TCG just with a Naruto skin. And I'm happy to report that strangely enough, and people, I need y'all to hear me out. The game that this particular TCG plays the most like actually isn't anything Bandai related. The game this TCG mostly resembles, and this is hilarious because look what I play on this channel. It is Yu-Gi-Oh! This game is straight up Bandai's interpretation of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was playing this game for the first time, I was like, there's no way. they just made Yu-Gi-Oh! Naruto. It's literally Naruto Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm gonna explain why I feel this way, but if you're coming into it and you're like, well, I just don't wanna play One Piece with a Naruto skin, or I just don't wanna play Gundam with a Naruto skin, this does not, there's some aspects of it that is still like, you know, like there's some Bandai like card game aspects of it. But a lot of this, you're like, bro, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's quickly talk about how this game works. I will try to go in as much detail as possible to kind of give people who were not able to attend this event basically all of the details that I could possibly give you. This game is still a year out. So obviously some things could change, but I'm just letting you know what I got to play at Gen Con. So don't come back 7 months later being like, Ashy, man, that is not what you said. Listen, I'm telling you now, okay? I don't know what they go do. I'm just telling you what I saw. So the part of this game that I think is related to like One Piece is you have leader cards, right? So you have a leader. So you'll have like, kinda in One Piece, if you don't play One Piece, you have a leader card. It has a specific color attached to it. So for example, I play Red Ace in One Piece. So all of the cards that I would play in my Red Ace deck would be red cards that support my leader. And Naruto is a similar way where a leader, like for example, the demo we played, there was a Sasuke leader, there's a Naruto leader, and then you had cards that basically had things that supported them. Now, I did not ask them because I forgot if there would be a situation where there was mixed colors. You know, similar in One Piece, you can mix colors. So I can technically play like black, yellow Moria. It doesn't all have to be black and stuff like that. But we didn't really see that right here in this session. That could be something. But for now, we're just gonna act like it's mono leader, mono deck. So you're building decks to essentially support your leader. Obviously, every leader has an effect attached to them and blase. You're thinking about the structure of this game. Like I said, in terms of like the board, think about this in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! So you have your regular like your summoned ninjas line where you will summon a ninja and they go on that line. But under that, you have something called the support line. Now you can already guess what this support line means. So you have support characters and they have effects attached to them. You can put these support characters face down a la Yu-Gi-Oh. On your opponent's turn, you can activate them and they have essentially trap effects. And then you have certain support characters that have something called the quick effect attached to them, which means, guess what? You can play those from hand, very similar to a hand trap. So this game has spells and traps. Let's just call it what it is. The support line has spells and traps. And then some of the support characters can just, if you play the support, they might have a line that says you can summon this to, a la the Paleo deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? You know, you have the Paleo trap card. It typically says like, do this and then summon this. Like some ninjas are just like that. Also, the support characters aren't restricted to just the support area. If you're just trying to get bodies out there, you can summon a support character to your main area. Now, the effect won't do anything if you summon a support to your main area. So essentially the benefit is you get an extra body. So if you're like, okay, I just need something here to to help, right? I just need something here to maybe do additional damage to my opponent's character or something like that. But the trade-off to that would be that you no longer gain, like you don't have access to the particular like trap effect that's attached to that set ninja. Under the support area, you have your chakra. Chakra is really self-explanatory. You will have moves that require chakra. It will tell you the amount of chakra it takes. Once you use a move or a character or whatever that requires chakra, you just flip the chakra over. Chakra can be reset. I don't know if every character, well, I think this is just a core mechanic. You can reset chakra by resting your leader, which means if you rest your leader, they can't attack for that turn, but that resets all your chakra back to active. Then next to that, you have the summoning card. And this was the part that was confusing to me before I actually played this game, because I was like, okay, so you have one summoning card. I'm thinking, okay, well, how do you get people on the field? So you can summon one person in your main little line once per turn, like one regular character, just regular character. You get one summon. Now, what's not restricted is EX characters. So this game has something called EX characters. And in some of the EX characters, you simply have to fulfill the requirement that's on that card. So I think Sasuke, there's an EX Sasuke card, and his effect was, in order to EX summon Sasuke, you needed to basically send a Taka Clan card and another card to the graveyard, and you can EX summon him. So you have unlimited EX summon. So the play here is essentially you're summoning normal characters to me fulfill EX character requirements, and then that way you can get a bunch of things on the field. My assumption is we'll eventually see a character whose whole game plan is resetting the summon thing, but that wasn't a part of the thing. So yeah, that's basically the general outlook of the board. You have the regular line for your summons, you have the support line, chakra, your one summoning card, and then your leader. So let's talk about the actual card. So another thing I was confused about when we first saw this game was kind of how the thing was structured on the card. So you had, in the top left, you had the hit, and then you had power, and then you had HP. I was confused because I was like, okay, isn't hit and power essentially the same thing? Here's the difference between hit and power. Power really only comes into play when you're battling a non-leader card. So it would be power versus HP, right? So if my power is more than my opponent's HP, then obviously I kill that card. But here's the twist in this game. There's no penalty for attacking a ninja that has higher HP than your power, because it persists. I don't know how to explain this, but the best example I can give, if I have multiple characters, let's say I have 3 Enos, and each of my Enos only have 2, this is not true, 2 power. But on the other side, I'm going against Itachi that has, let's say, 5 power. I can keep attacking, I can attack that Sasuke, or I can attack that Itachi with all of my Enos to get rid of it, because total I have 6 power versus his 5. But if I don't kill him that turn, it heals the very next turn. So there's kind of a mind like game there where you're like, okay, should I spend all of my mini characters to destroy these big characters? Is it worth it to lose those bodies? I think I called the hit points, but I meant your damage. So your damage in the top left corner, right? This is really only for the leader. That just tells you if you just went ahead and attacked the leader, how much damage you would do to that leader. That's simply what it is. So think about it. Power and HP is specific to attacking regular cards. Damage is specific to attacking leader. Another mechanic I thought was cool. So you start the game, each player draws 5. Now, in One Piece, once you draw cards, both players can mulligan. If you don't know what mulligan is, that basically means that you draw a new set of 5 cards. But in this game, only the player that is going second can mulligan their deck. This game changed backwards, just like Yu-Gi-Oh! So this sets up very long, interesting chains, just like Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the good parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I think is fun is when you're resolving cards and you just get like an 8-thing long chain where people are just activating spells and activating traps, activating monsters, and you get just a very long chain of watching things resolved, and you're like, bro, it's basically just a bunch of mind games. That is one of the most fun parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's here. They bring that into this game. It resolves the same way as Yu-Gi-Oh! So you'll see a lot of matches end up going where it's just like, okay, well, you did this and I'm gonna respond with this, and I'm gonna respond with this, and you do this and I do this, and I'm gonna stop that. And it just turns into just something very fun to play and interact with, which is why I think if you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, I think people still generally enjoy this game. But I think why my take is so grounded into why I enjoy this game is because I play Yu-Gi-Oh. I literally play Yu-Gi-Oh. That is my bread and butter. Out of every TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh is my bread and butter. So coming into here and sitting down, and I'm just like, oh my God, I get to play Naruto Yu-Gi-Oh. You can only imagine how hard I was smiling from ear to ear. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a game for me. Mechanically, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You can only attack rested characters. This is similar in One Piece. So a character is rested. I'm sure there'll be characters that have effects that force rest, but really right now, the only way a character gets into rest is if they attack the previous turn. So if you attack the previous turn, that character remains in rest. So I think mechanically, there's a couple of like card effects we could talk about, but I think I covered the very basic flow of the game. Like I said, it just feels like Bandai's take on a Yu-Gi-Oh style game. And it just felt really good. I'm interested, like, bro, just being able to have the chain of just interacting with this and then having this happen and having this happen was so fun to experience. And I was just like, okay, bro, this game, they didn't just look at One Piece. They didn't just look at Gundam. They just look at Union Arena and be like, okay, let's just take these and make Naruto. They literally was like, what game would work best for a Naruto style game? And I think Yu-Gi-Oh is the perfect one if you wanted to mesh something together for Naruto TCG. So yeah, if you're worried that this plays like obviously you notice some things here like the leader, the rest, the rush, like there's some One Piece isms in here, but the large majority of how you're gonna think about playing this game, the large majority of how you're gonna interact with your opponent is gonna be mostly Yu-Gi-Oh-esque. I do think the Sasuke deck was a little bit better than the Naruto deck. I could be wrong, but the Sasuke one felt a bit stronger. Now let's talk about the cards. Bro, the art on these cards are absolutely beautiful. I'm assuming all these cards are just hand drawn by artists. They all look so good. And so if you're somebody who's just like, I just want to collect these cards, bro, and in person, they look even crazier. Like I was like, okay, they look really good in these images. But being able to hold them and look at these cards, I was like, oh my God, bro, if you're a Naruto fan, You gonna be spending. You spending a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold you up. If you are a Naruto fan, brother, you might as well go ahead and prepare the next year because your wallet is gonna be screaming. I think my personal favorite was the Tsunade art because I don't know who the artist is that made this, but it's the same artist, I believe, who made this. It's one of my favorite cards right now in One Piece, and it's this Chinese Boa Hancock. And I don't know what it is, but something about the art style just looks really cool to me. And it looks like they got the same person to do the Tsunade. The mangas for these cards, I'm glad, a lot of people are mad about this, but I'm glad they didn't do this. I'm glad they didn't just copy the mangas. What they did was take the manga and do a half manga, half SP from One Piece. They just did a half manga, half SP. And I think it looks really, really good in person. So if you're bro, they had art on these. It's out of this creator session. They had these cool pieces of art on the wall. They gave us this cool bag, but I was so infatuated with some of the art on the wall. I was like, bro, this stuff looks absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think this is going to turn out. I think this game is going to be huge. I'm just going to throw it out here. I think this game is going to be huge. If you're a Naruto fan, if you've never played a TCG, I think this is the perfect game for you to start playing TCGs. It feels easy to start. I think at a high level, it will end up being pretty difficult. I think it'll end up being Yu-Gi-Oh-esque because I think Yu-Gi-Oh is just a hard game to get into in general. And definitely it's harder at a higher level. But I think this is a good game to introduce people to TCGs, but also complex enough to where TCG veterans will find it satisfying to actually play. It doesn't just feel like you're on autopilot. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time playing the Naruto TCG. I hate that I hate that this game is a year out. I really do. That was one of the things I was like, bro, we have to wait a whole year for this game. But shout out to Bandai for allowing my little ashy self to come in that room. I was not expecting to come in there and play Naruto Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't wait for everybody to get to play this. And it just sounds like I'm straight glazing, and I probably am, but I think like I said, what makes me most excited about this game is it reminds me so close to my main TCG personally, that it makes me want to play it more. So it's like, okay, I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then I can jump over and play Naruto, which is Naruto Yu-Gi-Oh! Like anime Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, bro, well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an anime. So anyway, I had a good time. The cars are beautiful. The game is fun. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions about this TCG, and I will try my best to answer. I took as many notes as I can. I think my description of it probably isn't the best, but I think I can answer basically every question that people might have about it. Let me know in the comment section if you're excited about the Naruto TCG. And as always, everybody, happy dueling.